Hey everyone, what's going on? All right, so this video right here is going to break down the exact questions you must always ask the second a customer steps onto your lot. All right, so listen up. Here's what we are going to do today. I want you to visualize a massive funnel. Picture it right now. The top of this funnel, it is wide open, massive. That represents a customer who just woke up today and decided they are in the market. Now look down at the very bottom. The bottom is narrow, tight, specific. This customer down here, they are ready to sign paperwork today, like right this second. Now, both of these people will buy today, but the person at the top, they just got into the market, which means they don't actually know what they want yet. They might tell you they know what they want, but trust me, they don't. Let me give you a perfect example. So, a guy walks onto the lot and tells you he is looking for a Chevy Silverado. I look him dead in the eye and ask a very simple question. I say, hey man, those are incredible trucks. Have you actually taken one out for a spin yet? And he replies, no, I haven't driven one yet, but I owned one 10 years ago and it was rock solid. All right, freeze right there. Did you catch the question I just asked? I said, awesome. Have you driven one yet? How many times do you walk a customer out to a vehicle and you never even bother to ask if they have been behind the wheel of one yet? And if he had driven one, my response changes instantly. I would say, cool man, how did it handle? What did you love about it? I need to hear them speak. What they say dictates exactly where I take the conversation next. I am literally going to pivot my entire presentation based on how they answer that one question. Now, let's look at the guy at the bottom of the funnel. I ask him, hey, have you driven a Silverado? He says, yeah. I say, great man, how did it drive? Drove perfect. I say, awesome man, did you just test drive one or have you driven a few of them? He says, well, I've probably test driven 5 or 6. Beautiful. Now comes the hammer. Why haven't you bought one yet? Think about that for a second. The most powerful questions you will ever ask are the ones that pull the exact answers you need to guide that customer to the close. Do you want to fall into the exact same trap the lazy salesperson at the dealership down the street fell into? Absolutely not. But you will walk right into that trap blindly if you don't ask the right questions. If the guy hasn't driven anything, he is wide open. I could sell that guy a Chevy, a Ford, a Ram. Hell, I'll sell him a Honda Tundra if he lets me. He's easy. But the guy who has driven 6 trucks, he hasn't bought yet for a very specific reason. And when you ask, why haven't you purchased one yet? You are asking the question no other salesperson had the guts to ask. You know what he tells you? Well, the last dealer completely lowballed me on my trade and the salesman was super pushy. Boom. Now I know exactly how to handle him. I look at him and say, hey man, first off, the Silverado was an amazing truck. You are going to absolutely love the one I have pulled up for you. And second, I want you to know right now, I am not that guy. I know buying a car can be stressful, but it will never be that way with me. By the time we're done today, you're going to want to invite me to Thanksgiving dinner. I am going to earn your business. Boom. I just secured his trust because I asked the right question.
Now let's talk about that trade-in. He already told me he was sensitive about his trade value, so I need to set the trap early. I am not going to just ask, what do you want for it? That is amateur hour. My goal is to out-prepare every other salesperson he has talked to. Here is what that looks like. I say, okay guys, so you clearly love the Silverado. I am going to go grab some numbers from my manager. But listen, you mentioned earlier that you haven't bought yet because nobody stepped up on your trade value. I want to ask you a couple of quick questions so I can make absolutely sure we don't run into that same issue here, okay? My general manager pays absolute top dollar for vehicles that have been meticulously maintained. Would you mind sharing everything you have repaired or replaced on your vehicle in the last 2 years so I can demand full credit for it? And then you shut up and start writing. Okay, cool. You put new tires on it? Awesome. What did those run you? $2,000? Perfect. What else? I replaced the alternator. Great. How much was that? $1,000? I am writing all of this down. I am adding it up. But what if he goes the other way? What if he says, hey man, honestly, I haven't put a single dime into it in 2 years. I smile and say, cool man, so you've driven it for 2 years without spending a penny because it's just that reliable of a vehicle, right? And guess what I do next? I start fishing for the reconditioning costs. I say, hey listen, my service manager's entire job is to make these trades look and run like brand new for the next family that buys them. Let me ask you something. If you were going to sell this car to your own sister tomorrow, nobody knows this car better than you do. What exactly would need to be fixed to get it perfectly ready for her? I just painted a picture. I told a story. And now he's telling me everything wrong with the car. Well, it definitely needs tires. Okay, cool, tires. What else? Probably a windshield. Got it. Listen to me right now. I am not fighting with him over the trade value yet. I am setting up the close. A sale cannot be closed until it is properly opened, and you open it by asking master-level questions. So many salespeople have no idea how to present numbers, and they definitely don't know how to defend them. And this all comes back to the questions I asked the second they stepped on the lot. Your customers are not going to just hand you the information you need. You have to extract it with specifically designed questions so you can steer the deal exactly where it needs to go.
Watch what happens when I present the numbers. I slide the paper over and say, hey, sir, incredible news. Boom, 18 grand for your trade. Sign right here. You love the Silverado. Let's get it detailed and parked in your driveway. Sign here. He looks at it and says, hey, man, I told you, this is exactly what the last dealer did. That is not enough for my trade. I don't flinch. I say, hey, I completely understand where you were coming from. But look, we did our research. And remember 20 minutes ago when you told me you haven't spent a single dollar on maintenance in the last 2 years? Well, there are thousands of moving parts on that vehicle. If you haven't replaced anything in 2 years, do you think those parts are wearing down and are going to need replacing very soon? Yes. And those are the exact things my service department is going to have to fix before we can sell it. Do you see how I flipped that right back on him? Or what if he had spent the money? He says, I need more for my trade. I say, I completely understand. I know we were at 18 grand and you were hoping for a bit more, but remember how you just spent 2 grand on tires and 1,000 on the alternator? The absolute truth is, the longer you hold on to that car, the more opportunity there is for something else to break and cost you even more out of pocket. By taking this 18 grand right now, you are cashing out at top dollar before you have to sink another 3 grand to do a transmission. My argument isn't telling him his car is a piece of junk. I am using pure financial justification to prove why trading it today is the smartest financial move he can make. And I only have that ammunition because I gathered it early on. Do not ever forget the funnel. When you meet a customer, they are either wide open at the top or they are niched down at the bottom with a specific reason why they haven't bought yet. Your job is to ask the questions to find out where they are. All right, guys, I want you to think about this right now. Did you just learn something in this video that is going to increase your closing ratio? I guarantee you did. But some of you are just watching this for entertainment. You need to watch this video 5 times. You need to write every single word of this down. If you want to become an absolute killer on the showroom floor, you have to write it down. Retention comes from writing. If you just watch this, you will never understand how top producers make $500,000 a year selling cars. It is impossible. My goal is to give you the exact skill you need to dominate. This video right here, this is baby food. This is the absolute baseline of what I teach. If you are ready to stop trading your time for average pay and you are ready to trade your time for massive wealth, I want to help you scale up. Shoot me a text message right now. Tell me where you are at and where you want to be. I will personally help you get to that next level. Text me at 252-292-7795. Again, 252-292-7795. Shoot me a text. Let's absolutely crush it together, and I will see you at the top.